The night she came, there was no explosion. No spaceship hovering above my house. No dramatic warning from the sky. Just a quiet knock. I remember checking the clock, 2:17 a.m. No one visits at that hour. When I opened the door, my first thought wasn't fear. It was confusion. She didn't look like a monster. She looked tired. Tall. Unfamiliar features. Eyes that shimmered slightly in the dark, not glowing, just different. Like they carried too many stars inside them. Her voice was calm. "You are Arman Khan." I couldn't speak. I just nodded. Behind her, at the edge of the streetlight, something metallic stood parked. Smooth. Silent. Not like any vehicle I had ever seen. News channels had talked about sightings for months. Governments denying everything. Strange signals from space. And now one of them was at my door. "They call me a queen," she said softly. "But tonight, I am only a mother." That sentence broke whatever fear I had. She wasn't here to invade. She wasn't here to threaten. She stepped inside only after I moved aside. Her eyes scanned my small living room, peeling paint, old sofa, my father's photo on the wall. Then she looked at me again. "My son is dying," she said. Silence filled the room. Our science can heal galaxies. But his condition, it is human. I felt my heartbeat in my ears. "And you," she whispered, "are the only human who can save him." I almost laughed. "Me? I'm not a doctor," I said. "I barely passed biology in college." She didn't smile. "It is not your profession we need," she replied. "It is your blood." The room suddenly felt smaller. She explained slowly, choosing words carefully, as if human language was fragile in her mouth. "Months ago, when their ships first entered Earth's orbit, they didn't come to attack. They came to study. Quietly. From a distance. They scanned millions of humans. Genetic patterns. Immune responses. Neural activity. Her son, the heir to an interstellar empire, had been born with a rare cellular instability. In simple words, his body rejected its own evolution. Their advanced medicine could delay it, but not cure it. Until they detected something impossible. A human genetic mutation. Mine. When you survived the viral outbreak 3 years ago, she said, your body rewrote part of its immune code. It adapted in a way we have never seen. I remembered that year. The hospital. Doctors saying it was a miracle I recovered. It wasn't a miracle. It was data. We tried to synthesize it, she continued. We failed. Artificial replication collapses. It must come directly from you. You want my blood? I asked quietly. Yes. There it was. No invasion. No weapons. Just a mother standing in my house at 2 a.m. asking for a chance to save her child. And if I refuse? I asked. She didn't threaten me. She didn't raise her voice. She simply said, then I will return to my world, and watch my son die. For the first time, the most feared queen in the universe looked completely powerless. I looked at her hands. They weren't glowing. They weren't armored. They were shaking. The most feared queen in the universe, trembling in my living room. How much? I asked quietly. Enough to extract the adaptive sequence, she replied. You will survive. We do not wish to harm you. Wish. That word felt heavy. Outside, the world still believed aliens were preparing for war. Governments were on edge. Military forces ready. And here I was, sitting across from the being everyone feared, discussing a blood donation. Why me? I whispered. There are billions of humans. She hesitated. Because you were the only one who survived without medical intervention. Your body chose to fight. It chose to evolve. Chose. No one had ever described my survival like that before. For years, I thought I was just lucky. She stepped closer. If my son lives, she said softly, our empire will never touch your world. Earth will remain untouched. Protected. There it was. Not a threat. A promise. Suddenly this wasn't just about a child. It was about humanity. I thought about my father's photo on the wall. About this tiny house. About a planet that didn't even know how close it might be to destruction. You're asking me to trust you, I said. She nodded once. No weapons. No contracts. Only trust. Silence. Then I rolled up my sleeve. Take what you need. For the first time, the alien queen closed her eyes, not in power, but in relief. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. If her son survived, humanity might gain an ally. But if he didn't, we might gain an enemy powerful enough to erase us. The procedure wasn't dramatic. No glowing machines. No sci-fi chaos. Just a small silver device she placed against my arm. It hummed softly, warm, not painful. Within minutes, it was done. She stepped back, holding a thin crystal vial filled with dark red. My son will live, or he will not, she said quietly. But tonight, you gave him a chance. I expected her to leave immediately. Instead, she looked at my father's photo again. You lost him, she said gently. It wasn't a question. I swallowed. 3 years ago. During that outbreak. She nodded slowly. Pain changes biology. In every species. For a moment, we weren't human and alien. We were just two people who had almost lost everything. Her communicator pulsed faintly. A signal. She looked at it, and something shifted in her expression. Not fear. Not grief. Hope. The sequence is stabilizing, she whispered. My knees felt weak. It was working. She turned to me, and for the first time, I saw something no news channel ever captured, gratitude. You have altered the fate of 2 worlds, she said. Outside, the metallic craft began to hum. She walked to the door, then paused. If my son rules one day, he will remember the human who saved him. And if he doesn't? I asked quietly. She met my eyes. Then I will. The ship lifted without sound, disappearing into the dark sky. The next morning, the news reported something strange. All unidentified objects near Earth's orbit, gone. No explanation. No invasion. Just silence. And sometimes, at 2:17 a.m., I still wonder. Did I save humanity? Or did humanity finally choose mercy first?